Good morning, everybody. How are you all? I hope you are all well, and I hope everything will be good with you these days. I hope all of us will be cured, will pass that bad thing, which means Corona. Today we are going to start 3A, listening and speaking. Our class today is listening and writing. You can say listening and writing. The first discussion here, I'd like to ask, how independent on computer are you in your every... sorry, the audio wasn't working. How are you guys? I hope you are well, and inshallah, nearer we will get over on Corona. Today we are going to start with our 3A, listening and speaking, beside writing today. At first, I'd like to ask you, how dependent on computers are you in your everyday life? Do you depend on computer in your everyday life? I'd like to have answers, even chat answers. Yes, Fras, thank you, Muhammad Ubaidillah, a little bit. Thanks a lot. Fras, of course, good, Fras. Badr al-Faris, no. Beth, what? No Beth, Mr. Fras. Mr. Badr al-Faris, it's okay. So I think most of us now depend on mobile phones more than computers. But I think computers still have some importance, okay? Do you think that being computer literate is necessary today? What I mean by that word, computer literate. That word, computer literate. Who can answer? What I mean by computer literate. A professional in computer. Someone who can use computer well. Thank you, Muhammad Ubaidillah. Okay, do you think that being computer literate is necessary today? You must be computer literate? Yes, for sure, Fras. I think it's the first skill when you go to any workforce, they ask for you. Yes, for sure, Badr. Of course you need it for work. Very good, yes, you need it for work. Exactly. So now, today we are going to listen or to hear a radio interview with IT specialist about a project called One Laptop Per Child. Listen and answer the questions below. What is the aim of this project? You know the aim, right? To make sure that students in all schools receive computer training, to provide computers for children in developing countries, okay, to produce cheap laptops for the world market. By the way, Badr, I will block you, and if you start writing in that bad way, okay? So now you're going to listen, then answer the questions.
B. You are going to hear a radio interview with an IT specialist about a project called One Laptop Per Child. Listen and answer the question below.
Good morning, listeners. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Kevin Truman, an IT specialist and research scientist at Bells and Collins, Inc. He'll be telling us about the new philanthropic project called Laptop for a Child.
Hi, Martin. It's actually called the OLPC, or One Laptop Per Child. This was a project initially thought up by Nicholas Negroponte, an architect and computer scientist, who also helped develop the Media Lab at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Please excuse the mistake, Kevin. I'm still on my first cup of coffee.
No problem at all.
So what's this OLPC all about?
Well, the basic idea is that many developing countries within the Americas, Asia, and of course Africa face a number of problems in becoming economically and technologically independent. The response of the OLPC project is then similar to the old saying about fish.
You mean, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime?
Precisely. In countries such as Somalia, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Malawi and others, the main problem is that international aid focuses primarily on giving food and helping these countries deal with crises such as war. As a consequence, larger long-term needs and goals are often not given enough attention.
By that you mean such things as education and technology?
Exactly. To get straight to the point, the OLPC is a project aimed at creating educational opportunities for the world's poorest children. The initial goal of the project was to build an affordable laptop which, at the same time, was technologically equivalent to the standard personal computers found in richer countries.
And were these goals achieved?
Yes and no. The OLPC project initially aimed at producing laptops which could be sold at no more than $100 each. Unfortunately, the motherboard itself costs around $75, so in the end the price had to be raised to about $200. As far as technology is concerned, I think the project pretty much achieved its goals. The laptop has a relatively powerful processor and memory, a flash disk storage drive, a camera, a built-in wireless, and a special screen for reading under direct sunlight. Oh, and it also comes with a special environmentally friendly battery which can be manually charged using a rotating lever.
Impressive! And what do the developing countries think about the OLPC?
Many developing countries are now beginning to see that unless they start focusing on building up basic facilities in terms of education and technology, they will never be able to face the challenges of the coming age. In light of this, the government of Ghana recently announced that it will buy around 10,000 of these new laptops, so it's certainly one step in the right direction.
Well, that's about all the time we have. The OLPC project and laptop, changing the world one step at a time. Thanks for your time, Kevin.
Thank you, Martin.
So, who can answer the question? Guys, who can answer the question? Yes, B. Yes, I think it's B really. Sorry, we need to open the page again. So yes, the answer is B, to provide computers for all children in developing countries. Which developing countries he was talking about in the audio? Who can tell me? Which developing countries he was talking about in the audio? Who can remind me? He mentioned many developing countries. At first, I'd like to ask the difference between not Asia. Asia is not a country, Muhammad. Asia is a continent. He talks about some developing countries. I'd like to ask the difference between developing and developed countries. Who can tell me, guys? Not Korea, Firas also. He didn't mention Korea. The difference between developing and developed. Case A, no. He didn't mention case A at all. I'd like to receive answers about some developing countries. USA is not developing countries. Developing countries is still going, yes. And developed countries, what? Like what? Developed countries, they are the countries which already done, like USA. Yeah, China, no. China, he didn't mention China. He mentioned some African countries like Somalia and so on. Okay, now you are going to listen again, by that time to answer the questions. Okay.
3A. Listening and speaking. Listening.
Yes, Nizar, thank
B.
you.
You are going to hear a radio interview with an IT specialist about a project called One Laptop Per Child. Listen and answer the question below.
Good morning, listeners. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Kevin Truman, an IT specialist and research scientist at Bells and Collins, Inc. He'll be telling us about the new philanthropic project called Laptop for a Child.
Hi, Martin. It's actually called the OLPC, or One Laptop Per Child. This was a project initially thought up by Nicholas Negroponte, an architect and computer scientist, who also helped develop the Media Lab at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Please excuse the mistake, Kevin. I'm still on my first cup of coffee.
No problem at all.
So what's this OLPC all about?
Well, the basic idea is that many developing countries within the Americas, Asia, and of course Africa face a number of problems in becoming economically and technologically independent. The response of the OLPC project is then similar to the old saying about fish.
You mean, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime?
Precisely. In countries such as Somalia, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Malawi, and others, the main problem is that international aid focuses primarily on giving food and helping these countries deal with crises such as war. As a consequence, larger long-term needs and goals are often not given enough attention.
By that you mean such things as education and technology?
Exactly. To get straight to the point, the OLPC is a project aimed at creating educational opportunities for the world's poorest children. The initial goal of the project was to build an affordable laptop which, at the same time, was technologically equivalent to the standard personal computers found in richer countries.
And were these goals achieved?
Yes and no. The OLPC project initially aimed at producing laptops which could be sold at no more than $100 each. Unfortunately, the motherboard itself costs around $75, so in the end the price had to be raised to about $200. As far as technology is concerned, I think the project pretty much achieved its goals. The laptop has a relatively powerful processor and memory, a flash disk storage drive, a camera, a built-in wireless, and a special screen for reading under direct sunlight. Oh, and it also comes with a special environmentally friendly battery which can be manually charged using a rotating lever.
Impressive! And what do the developing countries think about the OLPC?
Many developing countries are now beginning to see that unless they start focusing on building up basic facilities in terms of education and technology, they will never be able to face the challenges of the coming age. In light of this, the government of Ghana recently announced that it will buy around 10,000 of these new laptops, so it's certainly one step in the right direction.
Well, that's about all the time we have. The OLPC project and laptop, changing the world one step at a time. Thanks for your time, Kevin.
Thank you, Martin.
So, the answers here, yes, Muhammad, very good. Nicholas is an architect as well as computer scientist. What I mean by the word architect? Architect. Who can tell me the meaning of architect? Yes, is someone here? I'd like to know the meaning of architect. Yes, it's okay. But architect is someone he's engineer for building, who's responsible for designing new buildings, right? The next one, who in countries like Somalia and Rwanda, these are developing countries as we talked about before. International aid. What I mean by aid, international aid, what does it mean? What I mean by international aid, what I mean by international aid, friends. What I mean by the word aid, A-I-D. No one can get it. A-I-D, what does it mean? Yes, okay, when you want to give aid to someone, you mean you give him help, okay? International aid mainly aims at providing what? In these countries, they just want to give food, as that just they are suffering a lot, and helping them cope with a worse situation, okay? What I mean by cope with, that word, cope with. What I mean by cope with. What does it mean, cope with? C-O-P-E, with. It's okay, we can search here if you to know the difference. Cope. Okay.
Cope.
Cope.
It means to deal successfully with a difficult situation. When you can cope with a problem, you mean you can manage the problem, okay? So the OLBC project will create opportunities for children in developing countries. Will create educational. Educational here is an adjective from the word education, okay? Number 4, the final price of laptop was $200, right? Yes. The laptop also has a space which is environmentally friendly. It's a friend, we can say it's a friend. Okay, let's come to the writing lesson now. Today we are going to talk about a letter to an editor expressing an opinion, okay? A letter to an editor expressing an opinion. First, I'd like to ask, why do you think people write letters to editors of newspapers and magazines? Why? Maybe you are going to write a letter, okay, to an editor in a newspaper or magazines. Have you ever read any of these letters? Do you know about a letter to an editor? What I mean by a letter to an editor? What I mean by a letter to an editor? Guys, a letter to an editor, when you want to send to someone who writes for newspapers to explain or to ask for opinion or to ask for solution and so on. Okay. The second question: have you ever written to the editor of your school newspapers? Have you ever? Yes, Muhammad Abaidillah. Yeah, you didn't do it at all. But have you ever seen an editor of your school newspaper? Have you ever seen an editor for your school newspaper? Okay. So, now we are going to read B. Okay, Firas. Yes, thank you, Firas. Now we are going to read the letters to the editor of a newspaper below. What issues does Tom Evans discuss in his letter? Do you agree with him or not? Let's read it at first, then decide. Okay. Dear Sir or Madam, okay, I'm a concerned parent writing to complain about, you know the word complain, what does it mean? Complain, you know it's, okay, complain, yes, go, very good. I'm a concerned parent writing to complain about the unhealthy dinners which are offered to our children in some schools. I feel that there is too much junk food and not enough fruit and vegetables on the menu. I think school staff and parents should do something about this situation. A recent survey of school dinners has shown that the menus consist of pizza, chips, and chicken nuggets. To make matters worse, vending machines in school canteens are stocked with soft drinks. What I mean by vending machines? What I mean by vending machines? Yes, very good. Vending machines, it's especially a machine for buying and for selling. Okay? It's a machine for selling. Okay? Vending machines in school canteens are stocked with soft drinks, crisps, chocolates, and sweets. This kind of food leads to health problems such as heart disease, high cholesterol, and obesity. What I mean by the word obesity? Let's look that word here. Listen.
Obesity.
Yes. Obesity or obesity in American, it's a diet that is high in fat can lead to obesity. Obesity means when you are overweight, okay? When you are overweight, overweightness. In fact, it has been found that the number of overweight children in the country has increased dramatically in the last few years. Although a trend in healthy eating has recently swept through the country, it doesn't seem to have caught on in our schools. Radical changes. What I mean by the word radical? What does it mean, radical? Yes, I'd like to to pick answers. What I mean by radical? Originally, think again, Fras. Thank you. What I mean by radical? Yes, radical means drastic, or we can say mainly or important changes, good, must be made to the existing junk food culture. We can all do this by showing schools how to provide fresh, nutritious. What I mean by nutritious? Nutritious here is an adjective. It's the adjective from the word nutrients. But what I mean by nutritious? Yes, can you tell me the meaning of nutritious? Guys, are you there? Nutritious, what does it mean? No, Fras. Thanks for trying, but I want to know the meaning of nutritious. What I mean by nutritious? Yes, we can say that healthy. We can say that means healthy. Okay? Nutritious means healthy. Nutritious meals that children will, yes, okay. Nutritious meals, healthy meals that the children will like. In conclusion, I recommend that school staff and parents should take action on this issue. We will need to work together to come up with what I mean by the verb come up with. What I mean by come up with. Come up with, bring new ideas, right? A solution before it's too late for our children. Yours faithfully, Tom Evans, and so on. Can we look at how can we make a letter to an editor? I mean letter to complain or letter to tell your point of view and so on. When you are writing a letter to the editor, okay, the editor of a school newspaper, etc., or complaining or doing anything, expressing your opinion or complaining, you must follow this outline. The first one, greeting. Greeting, like we will start here. He say what? Dear sir, madam. Okay, this is the first part. Okay, we can say part one. Okay, it's greeting. We use formal greeting like dear sir or madam because you don't know who will be receiving that letter. Okay, so you must use the formal greeting. Opening paragraph. This is the opening paragraph. Okay, this is the opening paragraph. Okay, the opening paragraph, you say why. You say in opening paragraph, you say why you are writing the letter. You tell the reader why are you writing that letter. Okay, and if you are writing, yes, they are, Mr. Fras. If you are writing in response to an article, okay, refer to the topic title of it. So you are writing here why he write that letter, to complain. This is the aim. Why does he write his letter? To complain about the unhealthy dinners which are offered to our children. He mentioned the problem. He mentioned why he is writing, right? Then let's come to the main part. Okay, the main part, he will focus on one or two aspects of the issue or problem. Okay, he will focus about one or two aspects of the unhealthy or junk food, which is the problem he is writing about. He mentioned here He talked about vending machines. This is the main part. He talks about what? He talks about or focus on two aspects of the junk food which are served in their canteens, right? He gives his opinion and provide justification. What I mean by the word justification? Justification. You know the word justify? You know the word justify? Yes, justify. Yes, very good, Nizar. Very good phrase. Justify when you want to tell why did you do that action. You want to tell your excuses, right? He give his opinion and provide justification and examples. Here, he talk about vending machines. He talk about the aspects. In this school are stocked with the soft drinks, which is unhealthy food, crisps, chocolate, and sweets. This kind of food leads to health problems. He's going to talk about his justification, right? Such as heart disease. Why is this junk food is harmful for us? Because it's can do heart disease, high cholesterol, okay, high cholesterol and overweight, as we say the word obesity, okay? So in closing paragraph, the last part, you summarize your points and end your letter politely. This one is the closing paragraph. So how many paragraphs did we talk about? 3 paragraphs. The opening paragraph, the main part, okay, and closing paragraph. In closing paragraph, you summarize, you tell your point of view, okay? You may also in that one tell your point of view. He said, although a trend in healthy eating has recently swept through the country, it doesn't seem to have caught in our schools. Radically change must be made. He gives his point of view here and summarize the points which he mentioned in his paragraph, okay? And don't forget the last part when you sign off. Okay, sorry, this is the ending paragraph. This is the ending paragraph. Sorry, guys. In conclusion, I recommend that school staff and parents should take action in this. What I mean by the word take action? Take action. What does it mean, take action? What I mean by take action? Yes, take action when you take a procedure. Yes, Fras, thank you. Do something. Yes, take action on this issue. We will need to work together to come. This is the conclusion. He summarized and give his point of view, and don't forget signing off. Okay, when you say yours faithfully, write your signature and write your name, your full name under it. Okay. Okay, let's come to some meaning of these words. What I mean by worried in paragraph 1, worried means concerned, right? Worried means concerned, okay? What about fatness? When you have overweight, we call it obesity, that word, obesity, right? Serve, when you serve people or serve food, you provide, you give, right? What about healthy? As I told you, nutritious. It comes from the word nutrients. Who can tell me the meaning of nutrients? Nutrients. What I mean by nutrients? Nutrients, what does it mean? Can anyone tell me the meaning of nutrients? Yes, natural, Muhammad. Healthy stuff. We can say nutrients is the components of food, right? Okay. What about suggest, recommend? Do something about, okay, this problem, as I told you, take action on that issue. Okay, now we are going to move to our workbook. Okay, any questions here, Shabab? Any questions? Any questions about writing and listening? Thank you for us. Any questions? So let's come to, okay, thank you. Let's come to our workbook. Yes, they are. I did for us. Yes, we did that before. Okay. I think we stopped here. Okay, in exercise E on page 36. Okay. We are going to complete the text putting the verbs in brackets in the correct form. We will use full infinitive or per infinitive or ing form. Okay, just give me a second, I'm coming. Yes, guys, we are going to talk about how to use full infinitive. What I mean by full infinitive means 2 plus infinitive. This we call it full infinitive, 2 plus infinitive. What I mean by infinitive, it's the base form of the verb, okay? Per infinitive means just infinitive without 2 and ing form. Look, okay, let's come to the first one. May I? What after modal verbs we just use have? Yes, may I have. I can say may I to have, or I can say may I having, right? The next one, may I have your attention please? Final exams begin next Monday, so listen carefully. You should avoid. What do we use after the verb avoid? The key answer is here. What do you use after avoid? We use verb ing. Okay? Avoid staying up late at night. Okay? To study. So this is the purpose. Right? We use it for purpose. We use 2 plus infinitive to tell about purpose. Why do you stay late at why do you stay up late at night? Why? To study. Okay? It would be. After what exactly we will use be. Okay? Thank you. So after modal verbs like may, could, will, would, shall, should, and so on. We can use the original verb or base form, or we can say per infinitive, the verb without to. But full infinitive means to an infinitive. Okay, so it would be better to organize your time effectively. Why I use to organize here? Because it's adjective form. It's important to, it would be better to, it would imply to, and so on. Okay, when we have it plus adjective, we will use to an infinitive. Okay, it's better, it would be better to organize your time effectively during the day. However, if you feel like, what do we use after the verb feel like? Verb ing. Yes, if you feel like going to the park, why do you like to go to the park? What's the purpose of going to the park? Okay, to have a break, then do. But remember to return home early. Remember, here we use after remember to an infinitive. Okay, remember to return home early and get enough sleep. When the exam period finishes, you will have after will, for sure we will use per infinitive. Okay, you will have plenty of time, I mean a lot of time, to get the verbs again, to get as much rest as you like. Okay, let's come to the next question. It's a matter of cross out the odd word. Anorak, thobe, facial, and abaya. Who can tell me what about anorak, thobe, and abaya? The classification. They are all what? They are what? They are all thobes. Yes, dresses, things we can wear. Thank you, Muhammad. But facial is a beauty treatment, as we say before. Facial is a beauty treatment. What about earrings, cardigans, bracelet, and chains? Why did we cross out the word cardigans? And what I mean by cardigans at first? Yes, who can tell me the meaning of cardigans? Cardigans, it's a special skirt, a special blouse out of wool, and it has buttons up. It's usually for women. Okay, cardigans. So all of them are a matter of jewelry except cardigans, right? Accessories or jewelry except cardigans. What about high heels, sandals, jumpers, and Wellington boots? All of them are what? All of them are something we can wear in our feet. Yes, footwears. Very good, Muhammad. Except jumpers, we can wear up, right? Blouse, cardigan, coat, and slipper. All of them things we can wear up, except slipper we can use in foot, right? So let's come to the next slide. Complete the text with the words, phrases in the books. Fitness program, dietitian, in shape, absolutely recommended and complete. Okay, you know the meaning of fitness program? I think it's clear. Dietitian is the doctor who is specialized in giving and doing diets. In shape, I mean keeping fit. Absolutely means completely. Recommend, when you recommend someone something, you advise him to do something, right? What about complete? You know the meaning of complete. Let's complete it. A few months ago, Muhammad went to the doctor for a checkup. What I mean by the word checkup? When you went to the doctor for a checkup, what I mean? what I mean by the word checkup. Guys, are you there? What I mean by checkup. Yes, healthcare. When you do checkup, you can say a full check. Yes, he thought that he was absolutely fine. He thought that he was completely fine, but the doctor told him that he had to change his eating habits. Actually, his diet was a complete disaster. Fried food, lots of chocolate, and no exercise at all. So Muhammad went to see a dietitian, a doctor, to give him or to recommend him or to suggest him a special diet, right? Who suggested that he should lose weight. He recommended, he asked him to do something, what I mean by recommended, a list of healthy options and told him what to avoid. He explained that staying in shape, keep fit, is not just a matter of appearance, but more importantly, not just to make your appearance well, but it's a matter of health. So he decided to join his friends and start going to the gym. The fitness program at the gym helped him lose weight and feel a lot healthier. Okay? Now, let's come to the grammar, which is very important. It's about causatives, which we talked about before. I'd like to remind you with causatives. If I want to talk about something I didn't really did, but someone else did it for me, but when someone asked me, I will belong that action to me. We call it causatives. I use have, the verb have, okay? Or get, sorry, because I'm writing with the pad of the laptop, okay? Plus something, plus object, plus verb 3. This is how to make causatives. Let's come to the first action. Peter is having his pictures developed. Let's come to the causative here. The verb have or get here is having, okay? What about the object here is his pictures? What about the verb 3, developed? When I say Peter is having his pictures developed, did Peter develop his pictures by himself or someone else did it for him? Who can answer? When I say Peter is having his pictures developed, does it mean he did that action by himself or someone else did it for him? Guys, I want to receive answers. When I say Peter is having his pictures developed, yes, it means he didn't do that action by himself, but a photographer did it. Bob had, let's come to the causatives, had, and his is television, the object, and fix it. That did it mean that Bob or a technician who did that? For sure a technician, because we have causative form here, which means had plus something plus verb 3. But when I say Aisha cooked a delicious meal, do we have a causative here in that sentence? Do we have a causative? Did someone else cook a delicious meal, or Aisha by herself who did or who cooked a delicious meal? For sure Aisha. So it's not causative. So Aisha who really do that action. Naeem will type his assignment. Will anyone else type the assignment, or Naeem himself will do that action? Naeem. So this is not causative, right? Gary has had. Look at has had here. Okay. This is the accusative verb, and the object here, a pair of trousers, and the verb 3, made. Okay, so for sure Gary didn't do that action, but a tailor did that action for him. Okay, let's come to some practice here. The dentist whitened my teeth. The dentist whitened, whiten, make my teeth white. Okay, use some special powder to whiten it. Okay, so how can we make that tense or that sentence causative? You will say I am the subject here. I had. Why I use had in the past form? Because the original verb is past simple. Okay, so he say I had that action have. He make it had because of the verb in past simple. I had, and the object or the something here, my teeth, and verb 3, whitened. Who did that? The dentist, right? Let's come to the next one. The mechanic is repairing. Look at is repairing. What is the action here? It's present progressive, right? Is repairing my car at the moment. So you will use is having, right? So you will start with I. Okay, who can answer it? Who can answer it? I will. Who can say that tense in causative form using have or get plus object plus verb 3? You will start with I. Huh? Who can answer, Shabab? I have a lot of clever and magnificent and gorgeous students here. Abdul Malik, Abdullah Radayan, Ahmed Al-Aqil, Ahmed Al-Garni, Bassam Al-Ghanim, Fras, Khalid Al-Walid, Khalid Mansour. So I need someone to answer the question. I mean that one. The question. The mechanic is repairing my car at the moment. I'd like you to start with I, which means you will make it causative in that form, have or get, plus object plus verb 3. No one can answer? I will wait for more 10 seconds. Yes, thank you, Mr. Abdul Hamid, but I need to go now. It's okay, Mr. Fras. Just we have 8 minutes to finish. So if you can stay for 8 minutes, I will be grateful for you. So I need someone to answer. Okay, thank you. I'm having, yes, Nizar, I'm having my car repaired at the moment. Very good, Muhammad Ubaidillah and Nizar. I am grateful for you both. I am having. Why he use have in that way? I'm having because the original verb is repairing. I'm having, and the object here, my car, and verb 3, repaired. At the moment, it's an adverb. Okay, a painter painted my flat last week. A painter painted my flat last week. Focus on painted. It's in past simple, right? So I'd like you to start with I. Who can start with I and make it a complete sentence? A painter painted my flat last week. We are going to use it in accusative form also. You'll use have or get. I will have my car. Very good for us, but here look at the verb painted. It's past simple. So you will not say I will have. You will make have into past simple. Okay? So, I need an answer. I need an answer, please. I had my flat painted. Very good. Very good. Yes, thank you. So, I had my flat painted last week, or I got my flat painted last week. Let's come to another question. My brother will wash. Look at the verb. The most important thing, you must look at the verb itself, because he will tell you how to use have and get, right? My brother will have my car this weekend. My brother will wash, will wash my car this weekend. I will have my car washed. Very good. Yes, yes, Fras. Thank you. I will have my car washed this weekend. Yes, what about number 5? Sorry, the answer came with it. The nurse took my blood pressure. The nurse took my blood pressure. So, took here is past simple. So, you'll use have or get in past simple. Who can make it in passive or in causative form? I had my blood pressure taken. Very good. Thank you. I had my blood pressure taken by the nurse. The hairdresser has cut. By the way, look at the verb has cut here into present perfect. So you'll use have or get in present perfect also. So you will say has had or has got, right? So that hairdresser has cut and styled my hair. You will start with I also. Who can answer it? I have had my hair, yes, styled and cut. Very good. I have had, you say I have because of I, and then verb 3 of has, you make it had, and the thing here is my hair, okay, and the verb 3 cut and styled. We have 2 actions to do the verb. Thanks a lot. If you need any questions according to that session, please ask me, and forgive me for those childish people or childish students who were logging into our session. Okay, do you want any questions, any things? I will make the audio open for you now to participate if you need. Okay, for 4 minutes. So you can share audio now if you need. Is it okay? If you need anything, please don't hesitate. Tell me. Is it okay, Shabab? All of you? Thanks for those guys who are always punctual and cooperative and helpful, and I hope for those who just look to do childish or joke, to not to do that again, because they are smart enough or good enough not to do that. Thanks a lot. Okay, thanks.